Hi, everyone. We want to look at another tool that we use internally to assess our environment, and that's called a SWOT, S-W-O-T analysis. So let's share the screen here. And we will go over to our whiteboard and we'll look at those four things. So SWOT by definition is called strengths, or is referring to strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. The idea is to look at, what are our strengths and what are our weaknesses internally, but as well look out into the marketplace, look at opportunities and threats that are out there that maybe we can take advantage of or we need to prevent. So when we look at strengths as the first one out here, it is those resources and capabilities that we're very good at. They could have scored well on the VRIN test. They can give us a competitive advantage. Those are the things we want to build upon. There are core competencies. There are main processes. We want to build upon them. The weaknesses could be liabilities for us in terms of competition and the other folks that we compete against. We may not have enough resources, capacity, et cetera. That could be a problem for us. Opportunities are those situations that are occurring out there in the marketplace when we look at it, that they could give us a competitive advantage. Those, if you think about it, our opportunities are typically the potential weaknesses of our competitors. The fourth one, which is the threats by definition are those factors. They could damage our competitiveness. They could hurt our profitability. So we've got to give some thought to how we're going to deal with those threats out there. Typically, things that threaten us are weaknesses that we have. Could also be new technologies or disruptive technologies that impact the strength. But we want to look internally and see what we're strong at, what we're weak at. The strengths could give us opportunities out in the marketplace to build upon, could also tie into weaknesses of our competitors. Same thing as weaknesses could be threats to us. We've got to figure out how to deal with that. Now, a couple of comments on the SWOT analysis and how it impacts an organization. Whatever these potential strengths are, we got to make sure we're staying aligned with and supportive of our strategy. Because if we've got a direction we're going and we don't have, nobody's got unlimited resources, we want to make sure these potential strategies or strengths are things that lined up with the direction we're going. Same thing with the opportunities, is that we see cool opportunities out there, but they got to be aligned with us too, because we can't be spread all over the place. So ideally, they tie in with our strengths. Once we figured out that strategy, we got to start looking at our weaknesses and threats. So, a weakness could take us down. It could be exploited. It takes away the chance for success, perhaps. So we've got to give some thought in those weaknesses. Do we build them up to a minimum level so we can compete? Perhaps, we don't talk about it very much, we drop that skill that's very weak, because no matter what we do, we're not going to be able to compete with that, but we got to deal with it. Same thing with threats, is we just can't ignore that. We've seen many organizations like here in the US, Sears, Kmart, Bed Bath & Beyond, they've been threatened by things and they didn't react. So along with the VRIN test, this is another tool we use to understand what we're good at, what we're kind of wobbly at, and what's going out in the marketplace in terms of what can we build upon with the opportunities as well as the threats.